Don D. Long II, a black commercial truck driver, went to a North Carolina courthouse for a scheduled hearing. But instead of simply attending court and leaving, he says he was pepper sprayed, punched, handcuffed, detained, and left with permanent damage to his eyesight. Today, we are examining selected portions of an interview originally conducted by journalist Roland S. Martin with an attorney representing truck driver Don Long II. Full journalistic credit belongs to Roland Martin Unfiltered, and the Black Star Network. Crimes Against Us did not conduct this interview. We are presenting selected excerpts for independent commentary, criticism, public education, and analysis. The link to Roland Martin's original video is included in the description.
Harry, glad to have you here. What the hell was this all about? What was your client in the courthouse for, and how all of a sudden does he get attacked?
Hey, thanks, Roland, for having me. That's what we're trying to figure out. You know, he was in a courthouse. He had a court date. He had summons to come to court that day. What happened, Roland, is that he had his cell phone, and he was told by other deputies that he needed to take his cell phone back to the car. And once he took his phone back to the car, came back through security, he realized he was running late to court. He goes rushed to the courtroom to see the judge that's on the bench calling the calendar. And anybody knows if you're not in court when the judge calls the calendar, you could be subjected to a bench warrant or failure to appear. And done, they want to get a bench warrant. So he politely tried to ask the deputy, can he come in? Deputy told him, back his, you know what up, gave him some explicits, and Dunn backed up. Subsequently, he saw two other people being let in the courtroom, and Dunn, he proceeded to see, hey, maybe he'll let me in the courtroom now. He goes back up to the deputy. The deputy then comes out, and I know you mentioned in your opening intro that the deputy punched him outside first. Outside of the first punch. That's not the first punch. He's actually shoved and punched Dunn inside that vestibule that you don't see on camera. Then he took out his OC pepper spray and sprayed Dunn directly in his eyes. That's why you see Dunn, he's outside the hallway. When he exits the vestibule, he's rubbing his eyes. Then the officer come back behind him, attempts to strike him. Dunn retaliates, uses force, and repels the attack. We talked to some people today that was in the courthouse that day. They said that the pepper spray on Dunn was so much they had to clear the courthouse and could not use the courtroom, and could not use it for the rest of the day.
What you just heard is the account being presented by Don Long's legal team. According to the attorney, Long was attempting to attend a court hearing when an encounter with a Northampton County Sheriff's deputy escalated. The legal team alleges that the deputy sprayed Long directly in the eyes with pepper spray before the physical confrontation captured on courthouse surveillance video. That distinction is important. The attorney is presenting allegations made on behalf of a client. Those allegations must still be supported by evidence and resolved through the legal process. But in this case, the public is not being asked to rely only on someone's word. There is also video.
Dunn was taken down to the holding cell, where he was subsequently treated by EMS, taken to the hospital, and released. He was, in fact, detained, arrested. But once they got a chance to look at the video, the authorities there, and realized what happened. He was not the first aggressor. He was released. He went back over to the sheriff's office and talked to the sheriff after the fact. To my understanding, Deputy Colson was resigned during the investigation. It is an ongoing criminal investigation. Don Long has not been charged with any crime related to this incident.
According to published reporting, Don Long was not criminally charged in connection with this courthouse confrontation. That is a significant fact. It does not automatically prove every allegation contained in his lawsuit. It also does not, by itself, establish that the deputy violated the law. But when a citizen is pepper sprayed, becomes involved in a physical confrontation with a law enforcement officer, and is then released without charges arising from that confrontation, the public has legitimate questions. Why was no charge filed? What did supervisors conclude after reviewing the surveillance video? Were witnesses interviewed? Was the deputy's use of pepper spray consistent with department policy? The answers to these questions should be gathered from records and evidence, not assumptions. According to Long's attorney, while in the holding cell, Long received access to medical treatment. Why the deputy's resignation matters. The Northampton County Sheriff reportedly stated that the deputy was suspended without pay following the incident. The deputy then resigned before the department's internal investigation was completed. A resignation is not, by itself, a legal finding of misconduct. It does not automatically establish civil liability. But the timing matters because a resignation before an investigation is completed can leave important questions unresolved. What evidence had investigators collected? Had the deputy been interviewed? Were use of force policies reviewed? Was disciplinary action being considered? And did the sheriff's office complete its investigation after the resignation, or did the investigation effectively end when the deputy left? Accountability should not disappear simply because an employee resigns.
But the sad thing about it, Roland, is that Don was a commercial truck driver who actually had his own truck, commercial truck driver, from my understanding. And he passed all the DOT certification. In fact, he enjoyed 2013 vision with both eyes, 2021 and 2025 others, as late as 2025. After this incident, due to the damage to his eyes, he now has 20/80 vision. He has permanent scarring in his eyes where he's scheduled to have surgery. And in fact, this past Monday, he was supposed to have surgery, but the scarring from the metal from the pepper spray was so bad that he could not even have surgery. This is a father of 4 beautiful wife, children, the breadwinner of his family. Now left and try to figure out what's next. He has permanent damage and vision impairment due to this rogue deputy who assaulted him, all because he just tried to enter into the courtroom.
The courthouse surveillance footage appears to show Long walking through a doorway while wiping his eyes. A deputy follows behind him and appears to swing at him. Long then strikes back, and a physical confrontation follows. However, the recording reportedly has no audio. That means the video may show physical movements, timing, positioning, and the sequence of events, but it does not tell us everything that was said before the confrontation. That limitation should be acknowledged. At the same time, the sequence visible on the recording could become critical evidence in determining who escalated the encounter and whether the amount of force used was legally justified. What the $20 million lawsuit claims. Long's lawsuit reportedly seeks a total of $20 million. Published reporting describes $15 million being sought for alleged excessive force and another $5 million for alleged assault and battery. The lawsuit also alleges that the pepper spray caused permanent damage to Long's vision. That alleged injury is especially serious because Long earns his living as a commercial truck driver. Commercial drivers depend on their eyesight not only to remain employed, but also to satisfy medical and safety requirements. The amount requested in a complaint is not the same as an award. Long and his attorneys will still have to prove liability, causation, the nature and permanence of his injuries, his economic losses, and the amount of legally recoverable damages. The defendants will also have an opportunity to dispute the allegations, challenge the evidence, and raise any available legal defenses. These claims have not been decided by a court. It is important to separate 3 different things. What the video appears to show. What Long and his attorneys allege. And what can ultimately be proven in court. At this stage, the lawsuit contains allegations. No court has entered a final judgment establishing that the deputy, the sheriff, or any other defendant is legally responsible for Long's injuries. The defendants must be given the opportunity to respond. But reserving judgment does not require the public to ignore the footage or stop asking questions. It means examining the evidence carefully, distinguishing reported facts from allegations, and following the case as it moves through the legal system.
I mean, that's just absolutely insane. That it just goes to this. And did the judge or any other judges, have they said anything regarding this officer's behavior?
No, it hasn't made its way through in front of any judicial officer. We do know that Don petitioned the state of North Carolina for the release of the video, and the sheriff did not oppose in Northampton County, and Don was able to get the video without any restrictions whatsoever. That's how you were able to see the video. You remember how hard it was in North Carolina, not too far from Elizabeth City, where we had to fight to try to get the video of Andrew Brown, and still haven't received it. The judge released the video. The transparency, we have seen exactly what happened. Maybe other parts of the video, but for the most part, we saw all the videos related to Don when Don was there. But like I said, this is a very, very tragic story. And no, he's not dead, thank God. But this man, a father of 4, young man in his late 30s, is now visually impaired due to what this officer did. And this officer should have been charged immediately. He should have been not able to resign. He should be terminated and should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, because if you or anybody else that assaulted a person, unprovoked assault, we will be charged facing felony charges. It doesn't matter if we have bad shit or star. We say that all the time. This is a case that we hope that we can get some redress for Dunn. because his livelihood has simply been stripped away from him in a manner that nobody would ever think should happen. You go to court, and you get assaulted. You go to court, you get punched in the face, you get pepper sprayed, you get attacked, all because you're trying to fulfill the judicial order, the summons to come to court. It never should happen. Never should happen, Roland.
Here is the crimes against us analysis. This case is bigger than one physical confrontation. It raises questions about access to the courts, the use of force inside government buildings, law enforcement accountability, medical care after chemical spray exposure, and the preservation of surveillance evidence. The most important evidence may include the complete, unedited courthouse video, any incident and use of force reports, body camera footage, if any exists, radio communications, medical and emergency response records, the deputy's training and disciplinary history, the sheriff's department's pepper spray and decontamination policies, witness statements, and the unfinished internal investigation. The sequence of events will matter. The deputy's perception of any threat will matter. Long's actions before and after the spray will matter. The medical evidence connecting the pepper spray to his alleged permanent vision damage will matter. And the department's response after the confrontation will matter. This is why video evidence is so important. Without that courthouse surveillance recording, this case could have become one person's word against a deputy's official report. Cameras do not always provide every answer, but they can expose details that written reports leave out. Leave your thoughts in the comments, but keep the discussion factual and respectful. This is Crimes Against Us. Empowering you to win. No fear. No cap. Fight for your rights.